What's up, everybody? What's going on? It's Nate Holloway here with another episode of A Father's Authority. For those of you who are tuning in for the first time, A Father's Authority is a part of Kingdom Relationships, and we exist to change the narrative on fatherhood. We do this by interviewing different fathers and different people to talk about fatherhood and to help fathers, new fathers, become great fathers become either great, even greater fathers, and help other fathers come back into the lives of their children. And we do this by bringing on dads each week to give you wisdom and some knowledge on how they are great fathers. And sometimes, from time to time, I bring on a female to talk about fatherhood from a daughter's perspective, because a lot of time we talk about sons and we talk about our daughters and have men come on, but we don't hear it from the perspective of a daughter, on how fatherhood impacts them, on how the words of their father affects them. And we talk about it with other dads, but we don't hear it from the female's point of view. So tonight, I have a great interview for you, and I have a great friend of mine. She's like my little sister. If you remember, a couple weeks ago, we had her dad on, who's my spiritual father, Pastor Warren. He was on, gave you guys some great wisdom. But we got my friend tonight. She's a sister. We used to be co-hosts on the radio together. We did a whole lot of stuff, music, church. We practically just known each other for a while. And you guys are going to get some great wisdom. Well, I'm going to let her tell you. Let's bring on Joy Jabi Warren. What's up, Jabi?
What up? Your
How
boy
you
Nate.
doing? No, you got to say what? Your boy Nate, 654.
3.5 Dash Street. We have inside jokes for days on that.
Yes.
show.
Yeah, we used to have some fun, guys. We used to be on the radio together, and I remember when she came up with that, I was trying to figure out. She had her radio name, Jabi. Jeff had his, Jay Francis, and I was just Nate. So we had to come up with a name for me, and they came with your boy Nate. And then she said she took it for your boy Nate 654, something like I was a prisoner in jail or something like that.
I had like a badge on or something from work.
Oh yeah.
Was on. I think Jeff did that actually. It was. I don't know if that was me. I think that was Jeff.
Oh, well, that was funny. But so, Jabi, man, I'm so glad, sis, that you came on tonight. So glad to have you on. So before we go any further, tell the people about a little bit about Joy Warren, about what you do. Just give them a little bit about you.
Okay, I'm a singer, songwriter, and entrepreneur. I write music for artists, TV and film, jingles, and I have a company called Kingdom Star Group LLC that is a lifestyle brand for young creatives 18 to 34, and we create content to change and impact culture. So that's music, books, merch, all the above. Yeah, that's the short of it. Don't want to have
Merch.
too long. And I'm actually wearing some of my merch too. Star is life. Shout out Kingdom Star. Hashtag Kingdom Star.
Shout out. We're going to give you guys info at the end of the show on where to get that merch. Go grab it. Support my little sis. You know, she say merch. You know, I'm from the old school. We say t-shirts, you know, but she say merch. So it's merch. You know, I'm just playing. And funny, my son said it too. He said, Dad, so-and-so got merch. Because he watched. I was like, okay. But he said, yeah, I want some unspeakable merch. I was like, all right.
It's the age of shortening things. Like nobody says words anymore. Get with it. Come on, Nate.
Right. I'm with it. I'm with it. I'm there. I'm getting there. He keeping me young. He's 7. He keeping me young. He tell me about it. So, Joe, let me ask you a question. What does fatherhood mean to you?
Oh, that's such a loaded word, fatherhood. But I think in the most basic sense, it is leadership, it is protection, it's wisdom, it's providing a safe place for your children to grow, to learn, to be corrected, make mistakes, and to come into the fullness of who they are. And that's something that cannot be achieved without having a father. But I will say that it's not always by blood. You know, sometimes you can find that father in a just a male figure, somebody that pours into your life like that. So, for people that don't necessarily have a father, they can still experience someone fathering them. Does that make
Mhm.
sense? No.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Makes total sense because that was me. I grew up, I never knew my biological father, but for every stage of my life, I had a father figure.
Yeah.
And, as I was telling, like when I interviewed your dad a couple of weeks ago, he was very instrumental in my life for probably about 20 years but he was very instrumental in my life for me becoming the man I am. He taught me how to be a husband. He taught me how to be a father. But I watched him raise you guys. I think we met when you were like 16 or something like that. Uh, but I put it out there. But but I watched him raise you guys, and I gleaned wisdom from him as he talked to you.
Yeah.
Whenever I was at the house or whenever I saw him, whatever he said, he talked to you guys. But I saw how he raised you, and then was also that trickled down to guys like me where he wasn't my biological father, but he imparted into my life and
Yeah.
raised me as if I was his son.
Can I really quickly? So I don't know if you know this, but I have been doing some branding and like rebranding for his ministry.
Mhm.
And the Dale Warren Ministries website, the marketing angle is the heart of a father, Apostle Kale Warren, the
Mm.
father, a father in the faith, and just promoting how he is that for so many people. Like before you even get a preacher, a pastor, whatever, you're going to experience that father heart. So it's crazy that you had him on and you're talking about this now.
Yes, and it's that's so important. I tell guys all the time, if you don't have a dad, get a father figure, get a mentor. Don't be afraid to ask questions. I have guys I go to mentors all the time for just fatherhood stuff with Caleb, for
Yeah.
husband stuff with my wife. And what I realize that so many dads, so many men are that ego don't allow them to ask questions or ask for help.
Ooh, that's so true.
So they go about it, they go about fatherhood just trying to do it off the fly. And that's when they mess up, or that's when they trip up, that's when they miss something, or they impart the wrong thing into their kids. And so the kids growing up thinking, okay, I don't have to um, ask questions because their dad didn't ask questions. I was I was talking to somebody. I was talking to somebody one day, and it was like, this is a good topic for your show. He said, "What's something that dads don't teach their sons?" I was like, "What is that?" He said, "They don't teach their sons how to date." You know,
Mm.
which is true because we teach our sons how.
Woo!
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
but it's like men teach their sons, how many girlfriends you got, boy? How many girl? I caught myself even doing that with Caleb a couple of times. Like, he got a little girlfriend. You got a girlfriend at school, but am I teaching him how he should treat
Yeah,
that little girl? Am I teaching him how he should talk to her parents? How to approach her? Even how to ask for her phone number?
right.
You don't just go up to the girl, hey, Shawty, can I hit that? No, you go up to her, how you doing? My name is Caleb, and start a conversation. Then you ask her for
Yeah.
when I haven't gotten to that part that level with him yet, but uh, but most men fathers don't teach their sons that. They don't teach their daughters. A lot of them teach their daughters how to date because they're so like, I can't think of my daughter being with some man, and they're overprotective. And so instead of teaching her, you shelter her, and then she go out there on her own.
Unprotected,
And
unprepared, not a thing. And that's one thing my dad was very intentional about with my sister and me. Um, he would always spend time with us one on one, and he would ask us questions about the interactions that we're having with him. For instance, he would sit us on his lap. I will never forget this. It's crazy things you remember, but he would sit us on his lap, like on either side, and he would be like, I love you, and you know this is how I'm showing you that I love you. He was like, do you feel uncomfortable? And we were like, no. And and look, when you're little, you're like, why is he asking me these questions? But he was like, do you feel uncomfortable? And we were like, no. He was like, did I put my hand in your pants? We were like, no. awkward. And he's like, am I asking you to do anything? No. He's like, okay, so now you know what real love looks like, what pure love looks like from a man. It doesn't have to be anything about your body or anything about that sexual. You can receive love from a man without it being perverted or whatever. And that never left me. So when I would deal with guys, I could like right away have just a read on a nigga like, oh, all you want is the cookies. We ain't trying to work with you. Like it was so easy, and I attribute that to my dad. He prepared us.
Yeah, and so like you said, he prepared you. And so many fathers, we could prepare our kids for that. And daughters, I think there will reduce teenage pregnancies. There will
Listen,
reduce girls getting hurt. You know,
easily.
yeah, and reduce boys just going out here making babies all willy nilly and not taking care of it. And so I think I was telling somebody one day, I said I believe that when fathers get in line and get in their rightful place, the world can change.
I 100% agree. 100%
Yep.
agree. It's just the law of order. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Like somebody has to lead, which is why I said it means leadership to me, because the father really sets the tone in the home, and
yes.
sets the tone for the family. And what happens in your family is reproduced where the family goes. So the kids go to school and they're taking whatever they got or did not get to school. That's
Mhm.
affecting the school environment. And then they're going to go and get jobs, and that's going to affect the work environment. They go out to society and the community, and that affects the community. So it's like these small pockets where we have the ability to influence and impact the world, and it starts right at home. 100% agree with you.
Starts at home, and it's not too late. Even if their kids are teenagers, it's not too late to change it.
Right.
You can always change it, but it's best to start at an early age. I start those
Yeah.
things with Caleb now, and to the point where he calls me out on things, Daddy. But you said this, and I'm like, okay, son, but that's awesome. So, what's the best part of having a father?
Um,
Being spoiled.
what you say? Being spoiled. I mean, that goes without saying. But I would say there's just this feeling of like a safety net.
Mm,
Hard to explain. Like I just always know that I have a place where I can fall, place where I can run for wisdom, a place where I'll always be loved, always be honored, treated well. Like even when, because the world is hard, like life is hard, relationships, interpersonal relationships are hard. But
mm,
having a father is just, it's when it's done right,
mhm.
it's a blessing in so many levels. Because my dad is my friend, and he also plays like the husband role. Like, you need any money, you good, what you need, like your bills all right, you straight. And look, the other day my dad told me, he was like, I know you good and you doing everything by yourself, but every now and then just ask me for $200-300. I said, nigga, safety net, okay? It's great to have that. And it's that emotionally, it's that spiritually, it's financially, it's just like, wow. And I feel so blessed because everybody really does not have that. And it really does feel like there's always a safe place I know I can go.
That's good. Every now and then to ask you for $200-300. You grown now. You out there doing your thing.
I don't even know that was still a thing. I was so shocked to hear him say it. I was like, I thought we are way past that benchmark my age, but I sure will. Because adulting is wow.
Yeah, I remember. Younger. You like, I can't wait to become an adult. I can't wait to get grown. And you get grown, and it's like, can I go back to being in the house and living without bills and all the care in the world? It's like, phew.
Right.
It's no joke. I tell kids now, quick, enjoy your childhood.
And they used to say that too. I just didn't receive it. When you're young, you just think that they're trying to talk you off the ledge because they don't want you to grow up, or they just want to control your life. But turns out, oh no, they were spitting facts. I should have just tried to stay young. It's,
That's funny. And I think sometimes we make it even worse when we treat our kids as almost too much like they're an adult.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes we gotta let them be kids. We gotta let them play. We gotta let them have the toys. We gotta let them,
Especially
do those
nowadays.
things. Huh?
Especially nowadays, because kids just grow up so fast these days.
Girl, let me tell you. I mean, it's like at 6, Caleb be having conversations with me. I'm just like, huh?
How do you know about that?
How do you know about that? And how did you? Which learn? Oh, I saw it on YouTube. Oh, I saw it on Minecraft. Or
We
we
got
learned in school.
permission that on YouTube.
Oh, trust me, we do it. I'm like, you can't watch YouTube without me
Right.
there.
We
Because
too. We too. Rather watching just you. Okay.
we do it. It's funny, but yeah, because of things that they show, we got to monitor our kids. We got to monitor our kids. So let me ask you, how important are father's words to his children?
That's like what? Everything. Father's words are everything. You can like make or break your kid because those are words that don't leave you. They seriously don't.
Right? Because it follows you.
Yeah, it makes you think like Proverbs. You know how Solomon was writing to his son,
Hmm.
and he would always say like, "Hear the words of a father. Hear the words of a father. Hear the words of a father," and just how they were so adamant to even pass on the things in their generation. Like, and even God would tell them and give them instruction to do that. Like, pass this on to your children, to your sons. When you walk on the paths, say these things, remind your or teach these things to your kids, bind them on the necks of their heart. Like it wouldn't be so prevalent and so prominent of an instruction and a reminder. And if it wasn't such a life changing and life altering thing.
Right. And I never really,
Still hear things that my dad said to me when I was a kid.
really give me something.
Spend some, save some, you'll always have some. Talking about money. And
Hmm.
that was passed down to him from his dad. He never forgot that. He was like, my dad would always say, blah, 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 blah. And that's things that never left me. Like,
It's amazing because I still hear things from your dad now in my head when I'm talking to Caleb, or when I'm going through some or talking to Keisha, or just in life. I hear those things. Even my godfather from when I was younger,
wow.
I hear those words from every father figure. I hear those words, and I was like, every time I'm going to make a decision, I'm like, okay, what would dad do? What would dad do? What would he do? What would he do? What would he say? And then it plays back, and it can help you. Even like now when I'm talking to Caleb, I see now how it's important to speak those words to your children, because they're gonna either give it back to you, or they're gonna go out here and they're gonna say it to someone else. Because somebody tell Caleb, he can say something, Caleb, you're not this. He said, well, my dad says I am. And he'll tell them, my daddy said so. I'm this because I do this because my daddy said so.
Yes.
And it's important at fathers speak, and mothers too. But the words of a father, if we go back into the Bible days where their father's words meant everything. If the father said they was going to be a crook, they were a crook. If the father said they were going to be rich, they were rich. If he said they were going to be a carpenter, if they could be a jokester, they were that.
Even throughout just history with different cultures, you
Mm-hmm.
see the importance of the men passing that on to their sons. And beyond anything misogynistic or chauvinist or anything like that, it's
Mm-hmm.
just always been a practice in different cultures. It's been a really important part of the heritage of culture just throughout time. That men pass on the blessings to their son, or pass on wealth to their son, pass on company to their son. It's always very important, or not just sons, but not the fathers would do that to their lineage, and it just speaks volumes to the level of importance that it weighs. I think that to an extent, the imbalance that the feminist movement has taken has kind of disemboweled that fatherhood importance, because like even like you were just saying, you were like and women and mothers too. It's like we shouldn't even have to say that. Like there's a lane for everybody. Mothers
Right.
are important and fathers are important. So if it's Father's Day, we shouldn't have to be like, well, ladies, we're not trying to slight y'all. We shouldn't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? We shouldn't have
Yeah.
to be like, well, man, we're not trying to slight y'all. Everybody has their lane. And I think to a certain degree, the women being angry about how men have treated women over time and history and society and all that has made fatherhood feel like, you know, it's not as important, or we can't shine a light on how important fathers are anymore. But no, we need to say, yes, fathers are still important, and there's a role that they fill, and their words fill, and their presence feels that is not the same. A mother cannot do. It doesn't take away from the mother, but it's just the role. It's just the assignment. It's the grace that a father has.
That's all. And I love the fact that you say that, because as you was talking, I realized that we don't put enough, society doesn't put enough on admiring the father or promoting the father. You know, Mother's Day, they do everything, all the commercials for Mother's Day and everything. Father's Day come, it's like the day before Father's Day, we start showing commercials, and it's probably a JC Penney commercial with some sweatsuits and some ties. You know? And it's not, and I think that's where our kids need to see more of that, because I think if kids see more of that and they see more of what a father does and how even if the father's not in the home, if we displayed it on TV, if TV shows display father, like back in the day, we had the Cosby Show.
Yeah.
We had the Cosby Show. We had I know James was a bit rough or good times, but he was there.
We had Uncle Phil. We had Carl Winslow. You know, we had some good examples of fathers on TV growing up.
Yeah, and
Hey, I don't even know what to say. Like, is there anybody?
well, you got the new Bel Air now, where Uncle Phil is on the new Bel Air, but so that's, I don't see too many shows where it shows that, but we got to get back to that, and we got to promote fathers, because kids need to see that, and when kids don't see that in the house, then they grow up perpetuating a cycle of what they see. I thank God that I had father figures in my life, because I grew up in a single mother household.
Yeah.
So if I didn't have the father figures I had, I wouldn't be the father I am today. I wouldn't be the husband I am today, because I had those examples to watch. And I thank God for that. But talking about a father's words to his children, I want to talk about especially to his daughter, though. From your point of view, for a daughter, how important are father's words?
You know, it just women and men are just different. And so girls need different things than boys need. And as a woman who wants to be married to a man, you know, you're going to need to know what that looks like, what a healthy male relationship should be, and I think it goes even beyond the words, just the example too, just watching him deal with my mom and love my mom and stay with my mom, and then the words on top of those examples and those actions just create this picture for me and this standard for me of like what I expect, what I want, and even helps to form my identity, help to
Mm,
form my own identity. And I can't shake that word, the safety and the protection, because that is probably one of the biggest things that I feel from my father and the words that he speaks over me and into me. Like I can literally pull up my phone right now and read you text on text on text that my dad constantly is sending me to affirm me and encourage me. And I was up praying for you, and it's going to be all right, and everything's going to work out, and this is your season, and God's hand is on your life. Like those words keep me.
mm,
What I mean, when I have rough seasons or rough days, and I'm like, "Dang, I'm still doing this thing," and he'll send me a text or something. It's like, this is what the Lord told me to tell you, or I'm praying for you. I was thinking about you. Don't lose your standard. Like those words mean everything, especially when society is telling you, like, no, just do whatever the F you want. You know what I mean?
Right.
Nobody cares. Love doesn't exist. Just go for now, you know? And then I look at my dad's text and it's like, yeah, no, that ain't gonna work. So, because I remember who I am. I remember what I expect. I remember that there's more and that what I can actually have and who I can actually be because of what he said.
That's awesome. And it's because you give an example of the father's word shaping the life of his daughter. And on the other side of that, a father's word can also shape the life of his daughter negatively, because if a father's always calling her stupid, if he's always yelling at her, if he's always beating her, if he's always, hitting her.
That part. That part. It's like it creates your expectation for how you're supposed to be treated by a man.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep.
like, look at some friends that I know that either had a dad, but he was emotionally absent, or did not have a physically present dad. And sometimes it can be the same whether they was in the house or not if they're not present in your life, and they'll be like, and I'll see them deal with guys, and it's like they constantly have this pattern of men that mistreat them, that are unfaithful to them, that are unkind to them, that don't care for their hearts, that are really there for more shallow reasons. And I'm like, wow, I don't think at that level. I'm always thinking like, no, I should be treated like a queen, like a
Mm-hmm.
princess. Like I should be spoiled. I only deal with guys that treat me that way. I wonder where that came from. It came from my father. You know,
Yes.
it creates expectation.
That's good. Guys, if you're watching, those of you that are watching, you got to create the expectation for your daughter. You got to speak those words into her life. You gotta love her. You gotta show her what true love is. You gotta be that example for her, because you're setting the tone on what she, how you don't want her to date. You know how you want to get your shotgun when that guy come around. You set the expectation on her for what guy to receive. So you got to set the expectation and set the standard for that. Before we go on, guys, if you're watching, I need you to share this. I need you to subscribe to YouTube. I need you to like and subscribe on iTunes. Share it to someone that you know need this. I need you to comment. Let me know if you like it. But most of all, we want you to subscribe to this podcast, because we can't do this without you. Give me 5 stars. I strive for 5. Rate 5. 5. See, 5. Strive for 5. All right. Back to Jabi. So, Jabi, what's the best advice you received from your dad? I know it's so much.
I'm sitting there like going through the Rolodex in my mind, like through everything. I know one of my top 5 is one I just shared with you. Spend some, save some, you always have some. That was a huge, huge one. And then I remember he told me, if you are weak before God, you can be strong before men.
That's good.
That never left me either. This specifically advice, right?
Oh, what? Yeah, what is, you got something from your dad? Or anything that he told you that impacted your life?
So yeah, definitely those two mainly, because my relationship with my natural dad gave me the desire, the freedom, the ease to have a relationship with God. And
That's
so,
good.
you know, just like I feel like they're so interconnected. So the things that he says as a man of God has also spilled over into like him being my father. It's hard to delineate sometimes.
Right. I mean, he was always spitting out advice. I mean, always. You couldn't be around him and not get some nuggets of wisdom. If you're gonna drag your feet, drag them at home.
Yep, and I'm my granddad too.
Yeah.
Oh, another thing he said, he was like, You can't go in somebody else's house and move their furniture.
Yes.
And I was
Yes.
like, interesting. And so now when I have to go to different places to either speak or to sing, lead worship, I'm always reminded of that, because no matter what I'm bringing to the table, I'm still subject to the leadership in that place. And
Hmm.
I've never forgotten that, because daddy said so.
I remember that I recently had, well, I had an opportunity where I was in a situation where at first, when I first got in a situation, I was like, this is what I see. This is what we need to do. And then that popped in my head. Don't ever go in another man's house and rearrange his furniture. I was like, okay, so I need to step back, and look at where I fit in to where I am, and then do things from there. It
Two
came
more things while you were talking to you jogged my memory. Okay, so one was prioritize, simplify, and the rest live by faith.
Mm-hmm.
And that thing will take you through any, like, that is so universal. Like, you can use that for anything. Prioritize, simplify, and the rest live by faith. And then the other thing was, he said, the devil will always try to keep you stuck in your emotions, but the Holy Spirit will give you practical steps.
Mm-hmm.
And that's never left me either. Woo! Good stuff. Giving the gems, bro.
All right, he need to go ahead and write a book, because it's so much,
He's got one coming out this
it's
spring.
huh.
He's got one coming out this spring. But I think he needs to do a book on father, being a father.
Yeah,
We're gonna work on that. Thanks for
yeah.
that.
He told me about it, so I'm looking forward to it. So, what does leaving a legacy mean to you?
Oh, it's all about how we continue our mark. And
That's good.
that is in every form. Um, a good example of this is so I actually lead some tours here in Atlanta, something that I love on the side. I lead
Mhm.
history tours, and we do a tour in the King Historic District, and we talk about all of the people that were involved in making Dr. King who he was, and in the civil rights movement as well. And one of the pieces of that is Dr. King, right? We always hear about Dr. King, Dr. King, Dr. King, Dr. King, Dr. King. But what you didn't know is that Dr. King's father was extremely persistent, and
Mm.
that he implemented this social gospel, which was about using the word of God in the present day and not just for the afterlife to be impactful in the community. And his
Wow.
father got that from his father, Reverend A.D. Williams, who started preaching at Ebenezer Baptist Church, where Dr. King ended up being. And so, like, this lineage, and we see it manifesting in a sunburst or in a firework in Dr. King, but it didn't start in Dr. King. It started with his dad, Michael King, Martin Luther King, and his dad, Reverend A.D. Williams. So it's just like, that's legacy, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
legacy is compounded, so it started somewhere with A.D. Williams, and it's like, he worked with the NAACP and Professor W.B. Du Bois, and he, founded the school that Dr. King would end up going to elementary school at. And then that compounded and it got bigger with his son, Michael King, and he furthered the Ebenezer Baptist Church. And he goes off to Europe and he learned about the Protestant Reformation and Martin Luther, which is why he changed his name from Michael to Martin Luther King. And that, it just got bigger. And then after that, here comes MLK, and it just gets bigger. So it's like, it really helps you to see that life is not just about you. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Your
Yeah.
life, what you're building, what you're creating, even this is not just about you, because Caleb could pick this up and it could become something totally different, and it could be compounded. So you'll start it at 100 and he'll take it to 500, and then his son will take it to 2,000. It's like it keeps snowballing, and that effect just moves out into the earth, and it allows you to touch places that you may never be able to touch yourself. But because what you left in another person was that impactful, now you get to reach the ends of the earth, and for generations and generations. It's so, legacy is crazy. Legacy is everything. And
You
I
better
as
preach.
I'm getting older too, because when you're young, you're thinking about yourself. You're thinking
Mm.
about like, I gotta get this bag, I gotta reach these goals, I want to be in this circle, I want this kind of life, and you're not thinking about what are my children's children gonna have. You know what I mean? But especially as you're learning about, all of this, the heartbreaking, enraging truth about Black history and white America and systemic racism and all that. I'm trying to, Lord, ask God to keep my heart healed first. But the second thing is like just looking at the legacy that white people have been able to create through
Yeah.
wicked and evil, and it's created such generational wealth. Just thinking on the money end, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Being able to create that also, the legacy of wealth that I want my children to be set going to college. You know what I mean? They can go wherever they want. Or they have money to start a business if they want, or they don't have to go to the bank if they don't want. Or like I was even watching, My Big Fat Greek Wedding. When they got married, they
Notice.
didn't have a house when they got married. Like who can do that for their kids? Who's out here doing stuff like that? That
Right.
is fantastic. Like I watch how Puffy is with his sons and his twin girls, and like Russell Simmons, or no, not Russell. What's the other guy? Rev Run.
Reverend Run.
Run, like how he is with his kids, like watching what they're creating now. Master P, watching what Romeo's creating now, like the legacy that they are putting in their kids, whether or not it's the exact same as it looked with mom and dad, it's still legacy. It may look different in every generation, but it's the
Mhm.
same story just being told differently. So cool.
Yeah, I love it. It's you're teaching them like we're doing that with Caleb now. We're putting things in. We're teaching them entrepreneurship. We're teaching him um the schooling and things. I bought him some books about like Rick the real estate investor, Frank the franchise owner. You
Oh,
know, uh,
that is fantastic.
but it's a company called Little Owners where the books teaching them about ownership and investing in things like that. We're starting investments for him now. Those things that weren't done for us when we were younger, but trying to build a legacy, but putting that legacy in him as well. And that's one of the things that the Black community is not doing. You said something earlier about the words and the cultures passing down to their kids. We're not doing that. Most not some in the Black community may be doing it, but not a lot.
The majority, and sadly though, Nate, even that has to do with the history of
Yeah,
Black
yeah.
America. So it's something that we've gotten to a lot later
Hmm.
in life, and some of our opportunities to have those examples have literally been stolen from us, you
Yeah,
know. And so now we're playing catch up
yeah.
in a lot of ways.
But it's like you said though, once we started, then the next generation can take it and
Absolutely.
do something else. The next generation can take it and do something. I tell everybody, I'm creating a new generation of Holloway men that's gonna be there for their family, that's gonna be fathers, that's gonna do something different. I say it stops with me and it starts with me.
Yes,
You
yes,
know, and so Caleb is gonna be teaching his kids all this stuff and his kids. Because if you ask Caleb, you great? Of course I do, Daddy. He knows it. Caleb, you can do anything? Of course I do, Daddy. And he said, "Why you ask?" I already know that. He said, because I'm putting that in him,
yeah.
and that's how we got to do. So, Joy, at the end of the show, what I like to do is I like to give you opportunity to impart to the fathers. Um, and guys, she's not a father, but she's a daughter. So I want you to hear her. I want you to hear her heart. Joe, whatever you want to do, however you want to speak to them, whatever you want to say, if you want to pray, if you want to sing, if you want to minister, however you want to do it, just take a moment and speak to the fathers out there.
Um, I feel like the best way I could sum it up is in the words of John Mayer, and he has a song called "Daughters." I don't know if y'all have ever heard it, but it is a great song. And the chorus is "Fathers, be good to your daughters. Daughters will love like you do. Girls become lovers, turn into mothers. So mothers, be good to your daughters too. And those words are so real. Like how you love, train, lead, impart, affirm, guide, protect, provide for your daughter is literally life changing. If you do it right, you can create a woman that will not be broken and a woman that will be able to love the way she's supposed to love and receive love the way she's supposed to receive love. And that will create a legacy for your grandchildren and on and on and on and on of having a real and true father. So don't go too hard, but don't be too light. It's a delicate balance, but you can do it. You can do it. And I've seen it done from somebody that did not have the best example or didn't have such a healthy relationship. Like my dad didn't have a great relationship with his father, but he made up his mind within himself. I'm going to break that. Just like Nate was saying, I'm going to stop that trend. I'm going to start something different and just know that you are important. We need you. You matter. And and we love you. We appreciate you.
Amen. Thank you, Joy. So, Joy, tell the people. I do. We want to send them to get some merch, but tell them for the merch. Tell them your website first, on where to find you and how to follow you.
Okay, so my website is just my first and last name, joywarren.com. And my merch website is kingdomstar.org. And this is one of my pieces you can find. I have tons and tons of designs and colors and sizes. So just go and play. I think we still have the free shipping going on. The code is on the website. And you can follow me at _Jahbee, JAHBEE. That is my nickname. All my family and friends call me that. So I let you guys call me that too.
Jahbee. Well, Joy, I thank you for being on tonight. Awesome time as always with you. We have so much fun. Guys, I thank you for watching. I want you to go. If you have any questions for us, tell me. Want to let me know how you like the show. Want to let me know if you didn't like the show. But if you don't like, let me know you didn't. Tell me why.
Not tell them it's still like, no, I'm kidding.
There you go. You heard that. But if you got any question for us, just email us at hello@kingdomrelationships.org. We'll answer a question for you. If you just want prayer, if you got some questions you want to ask us about relationships, about fatherhood, about marriage, about dating. If you got a dad that you want me to interview, if you want me to have some ideas for the show, just let me know. Email us at hello@kingdomrelationships.org. You can also follow us at K Relationships on Instagram, Kingdom Relationships on Facebook, and you can follow us there. And just email us. I need you guys to go and subscribe on YouTube, subscribe to the show, to our YouTube page, subscribe on iTunes, rate us on iTunes. Strive for 5. Give me 5s. Anything less than a 5, I'm erasing it. No, I'm just kidding. But go to iTunes, share this show with someone who you know needs to hear it, and they will be blessed. Trust me. Guys, I can enjoy again. Thank you for being on, sis. Really appreciate it. Love you. Miss you. We didn't get to see you when we was in Atlanta, but we're going to make that happen next time we come. Guys, I really appreciate you for joining us tonight. Until next time, be victorious.
Ooh.